course, Luke Morris, 2 weeks to go until the biggest night of the year, and I do include the Euros, everything in
the
that.
Olympics.
The Olympics, Paralympics, the lot.
Christmas.
My birthday.
Yes, all the birthdays, because I am talking about the year, the whole bloody thing. The Football Ramble Time Tunnel, just 2 weeks away. We can't wait. If you haven't got a ticket yet, get over to footballramblelive.com. There's no dynamic ticket pricing, so you won't be waiting in the queue for 6 hours. You may be for the bogs at half time. And I'm talking to the men. Ladies, you'll have a lovely old time with that. So, yes, footballramblelive.com, or hit the link in the show notes. It's going to be a belting night.
It is.
And don't, I know you say, can I be bothered? Be bothered.
Yeah.
Be bothered.
It's Friday night at the Palladium.
It's Friday night at the Palladium. It doesn't get any bigger than that, and if it does, don't tell me. And when we talk about it on the subsequent rambles and so on, I should have been there. It's a bit like when you sit down and watch Glastonbury on the BBC. You go, why didn't I? Because it's difficult. You've got to get it way in advance.
For example, because I much prefer watching that on TV.
Okay, well, this is not going to be on TV.
That's true.
So you've got to come.
And there's so much anticipation to it. Do you know Frank Black has booked himself a gig at the Palladium to copy us?
Has he really?
For a couple of months afterwards.
There we go. See,
yeah.
Everyone's doing it.
Remind me who he is.
Pixies.
Black Francis when he was in the Pixies, isn't it?
Yeah, okay. See, I'm a purist.
Yeah. There we go.
Oh, dear. Footballramblelive.com. Get involved, me darlings. Right. San Marino won a game.
What a game. What a result.
That? It was wonderful, wasn't it?
What a piece of news. What a screamer.
Yes, it was.
You said a game. I thought you said again.
No.
I thought, what's he doing?
Well, they've beaten Liechtenstein again, Andy, if you want to go down that road.
Yeah, I
you
suppose.
Saucy little sod. They won a competitive game for the first time in their history. They were founded, if that's the right word, created
34 years ago.
1986.
Accepted
but 1990.
Into the international football community?
Yes, 1990 was when they played their first qualifier.
Right.
So they've tried for 34 years.
To win a competitive game.
34 years of hurt have ended.
So they went a goal up against England once.
They did, but they didn't win that game.
They didn't.
As we often gloat and taunt them about. But they beat Liechtenstein 1-0 with a goal from that man, Nico Sensoli.
Why are you struggling so badly with that name?
Because I'm so excited.
Yeah, you should be.
He apparently wasn't even born when they beat Liechtenstein the first time around. He's just a teenager.
It's those. I fully understand that. I would say possibly even the majority of our listeners didn't see that game last night.
Well,
so we need to describe the goal for them. Well, how would you describe it? I would say possible Puskás Award winner.
I think it's great forward play.
It is.
He sniffed a bit of trouble,
yeah.
and he it was a fortuitous one because he made the most of it.
He got his scraps.
We did.
And that's really important at that level, to get your scraps.
It's a lesson to us all. It of course ends the longest winless run in football, which stretches back to 140 games.
Which should be surprising to those people who, like me, support Portsmouth.
And ultimately, Andy, we were celebrating with San Marino, and it was all great. But think about Liechtenstein. I mean, it's an embarrassing defeat for them, losing to the lowest ranked FIFA nation, sitting in 210th.
Yeah.
How did Liechtenstein pick themselves up from this?
That's a good question.
It's happened again.
Yeah. In terms of the celebration, that what they did on French television, they cut to that they had a little box screen in the corner of the commentary team who were doing it from a cupboard on site, not on site in some sort of remote studio. Yeah. And
you've been there.
They were both the commentators were both on their feet, punching the air. It was really lovely.
It's nice. I like the fact that back in 2004, when San Marino last won a game, but also against Liechtenstein, as you've mentioned, that was a friendly.
Yeah.
I love that both of them have agreed to do a friendly because they both smell blood. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, we'll take you on. It's the two shittest boxers saying they'll have a fight.
Yes,
I reckon I'll get a win here.
I think so.
And San Marino did get a win.
It's like Cristiano Ronaldo personally writing something on headed Portuguese FA paper to say, Q8, would you like to come and play a friendly in Lisbon?
Yeah. We'd love to invite you here. And it's also a great improvement for San Marino because this is obviously a Nations League win for them, and it does show you, joking aside, because Marcus, you are the fierce last bastion and defender of the Nations League, but it does show you actually that it's League D. These leagues are ranked and seeded out for a reason, and a team like San Marino, who last Nations League didn't even score a goal, they were in a group with Estonia and Malta. Estonia obviously quite markedly better than those two other teams. San Marino didn't get a single score a single goal, yet this time around they've already got a win.
Yeah, you say that, look, but I support Arsenal, Chelsea, Man Man United, Man City, and Liverpool. So what the hell do I care about?
You don't
this?
care about that, exactly. Yeah, you don't care about it. No one actually listened to this episode.
But why
anyway,
don't? But the quality is really poor. Who cares about this sort
True.
of stuff?
Yeah, it's good.
I think
It's
you've
good
got
point.
to look at the smaller picture sometimes.
Again, I support Portsmouth. So,
And God bless you for doing so.
Perhaps a little bit more relevant for me.
I mean, maybe not everybody was happy because I was searching Twitter to find.
Don't do that.
No. Well, I wanted to hit because I just wondered if Richard Keys was going to say after this in the great celebration, just tweet.
Oh, Keys has been active.
Daft little ground, silly game, fuck off.
Yeah, exactly,
but he didn't say that. What he did say though, quite
Jamie
oddly,
Redknapp, fuck off.
Yeah.
Instead.
Very strange tweet this from Richard Keys. What a day for bumping into unpalatable people. I just saw Jamie Redknapp. Happily, he tweeted this. You can check it yourself if you're not blocked by him, which I know some people are. Happily, I needed a number 2, which was much more pleasant than stopping to talk.
Yeah.
Now, we know he's a fan of number 2s, Andy, according to some people. But, I mean, that is... What?
But do you think it's because he's still holding a grudge about would you smash it? Because Redknapp was involved in that.
It's not Redknapp's fault.
No, but he probably thinks it is.
He was involved because he was in the room.
Yeah. But he could have done a Souness or a Hullet and just not said a single thing.
You didn't laugh at my dinosaur banter.
I wanted to distance myself from it. That's why.
Anyway,
you know, it's very difficult to consume Richard Keys on Twitter when you're blocked on Twitter. It's the same with Tim Lovejoy. That's why I wanted to see what Lovejoy was doing out of his new football podcast. Couldn't get near him for love nor money. No account is not blocked by him.
See, this is why internet cafes still exist.
Yeah, exactly. Get the VPN out.
Yeah, that is it. Well, look, going back to San Marino.
You just thought, as a man of football like he is, he would have had an interesting take on this San Marino win. It's a seismic result for world football.
Yeah, but I think your argument falls down when you said the word interesting.
True, yeah. True.
But look, it's a good win for San Marino. There's no doubt about that. And again, it does lend credence to the fact that the Nations League is a major trophy, and it's to be enjoyed by all the nations.
I don't think San Marino are going to win it.
Well, they're on the way.
Yeah, a very, very long road. They have to go the playoff after League D, then League C, then League B, then League A. Yeah.
It was a long road in Lord of the Rings.
It was.
It's going to be a hell of a 60th birthday party for you, Marcus.
Yeah. I assume they get to the end of it. I watched the first 2 films and I thought...
I think it all got resolved.
Did it? Okay.
I think I'd love to see San Marino chuck Cristiano Ronaldo into Mount Doom. That'd be brilliant. So, but can you spoil the Lord of the Rings? I mean, it's old, isn't it?
I mean, I assume the goodies win.
So I'd love to see Nico Sensoli, because he's young, so he's got a long career ahead of him.
Yes, indeed, yeah. He might not have seen it.
The Sam... That's not what I'm worried about.
Okay.
The San Marino endgame is Nico Sensoli bites off Cristiano Ronaldo's both his feet and descends into Mount Doom, right. and finally we get Cristiano Ronaldo retiring because he can't play without any feet.
For what it's worth, he's already had a big moment spoilt this week because, of course, he scored the winner against Croatia last night in the Nations League in League A, the big one that everyone's talking about, Marcus.
Yeah. Well, we will do in a minute.
And when he scored his 900th goal and was overcome by emotion, he sort of obviously covered his face, didn't do his normal celebration, covered his face and looked like he was tearing up. And Bruno Fernandes just ran up and kicked him up the arse.
Yeah. He was like, come on, we've got a good hour to play in this.
Come on, you've done 900 of these. You're used to it by now. Let's get on with it.
Yeah, stop crying, I've told you.
But
yes.
Cristiano Ronaldo is Sauron. He's at the very least, he's Saruman, but he's probably Sauron.
Yeah, I know.
I can hear an argument that Gianni Infantino is probably Sauron.
Right, I'm out my depth here.
I know you are, yeah, exactly.
Welcome to the football forbidden planet.
Yeah.
Have you moved on to Game of Thrones?
Football has been overtaken, as we've learned before. Football has actually been taken over by the nerds. So you might as well lean into it.
Well, let's do it then. Well, look, yes, Portugal, they did get that win. But, I mean, there was lots of upsets, though, in football yesterday. Palestine held South Korea sensationally. Bahrain, 10-man Bahrain beat Australia.
Yeah, I know about that because the Discord server exploded.
Yeah,
all the Australian listeners
there's a friend of mine on one of our WhatsApp groups was Australian, and it always like gives up. Like, we just beat Jordan 1-0 in a friendly and all the rest of it. Yeah, he was very quiet today.
I bet he was.
I had to post it, so I did. Indonesia held Roberto Mancini's Saudi Arabia 1-1.
It was someone else's fault. Mancini wants to make that clear.
He was fuming, and the Indonesian goal was a lovely little deflected one.
It was. Yeah. I forgot Mancini was there.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, oh, yeah, of course he's there.
I wonder why he's there. Yeah, I wonder why he's there. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you can't.
Yeah.
Are you more forgiving for that than a player going there? I mean, Mancini won the Euros with Italy. He's done his...
But didn't he sell Italy out? Like, didn't he just give him absolutely no notice and just fucked off?
No, he failed to qualify for the World Cup.
Then fucked off.
Well, that's
All right, so it's worse than I thought.
Well, I think they probably were happy to see him go. Or were they, Andy?
Not massively. He kind of left them in shtuck.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. There we go, Marcus. So they have a bit of respect for the historic Italian Football Federation.
But, you know, there's a first time for everything, and he's definitely never done that before.
Exactly. Exactly.
Indeed. Right, let's go back to that Nations League A group, which obviously contains Portugal, Croatia, Scotland and Poland. And Scotland and Poland played a 5-goal thriller in Hampden last night. Poland got 3 of the goals, Scotland only got 2, which means they get nil points.
We're not doing much for our reputation as not respecting Scotland by putting them behind San Marino in the running goals.
I think. Look, it's their Friday as well.
It's a hard heart indeed. It's a hard heart indeed that would deny San Marino that glory.
I think so. I think so. Yeah. So Scotland, they fought back in the second half. Obviously, they were 2-0 down, and then they managed to concede another very, very, very late goal in a match.
I mean, how the heck did they lose this? Like honestly.
Grant Hanley thought, I'll probably dive in, even though it was
the least protested penalty I think I've ever seen.
And probably the most brain dead. It was absolutely pointless. It was the laziest challenge when the guy probably had overrun the ball anyway.
Oh man!
And I understand he was tired. I understand, but really, what happens is if you're tired, I suppose you want to dive in there and try and win the ball and get it over with. But it was
jockey him.
Exactly.
Yeah, maybe not in the penalty box.
So poor.
Yeah, it was indeed. Scotland's 5th defeat this year. They've won just 1 game in 2024, and of course, just 1 in 13. So it's a shame for them, because when they get back into it 2-2, obviously the feel-good factor's there. And this is, on paper, you would say probably their easiest game of the group. Portugal would be favourites to win that group. I'd say Croatia were better than Poland. Would you agree, Andy?
Yeah.
Luke, would you agree with that?
I would agree with that, yeah.
Yeah, I always like to get both of you.
Well, I think, but in this international version of promotion and relegation, Scotland are arguably punching above their weight anyway.
No, they are. They've done well to get there.
So the fact that if they get relegated out of League A back into League B again, it would be disappointing, obviously, but you'd think that's probably about right. The manner of this. They started the game trying to tippy-tappy it around, and Poland, which is a bit too canny for them. And then McTominay had a chance that he should have buried at the back post, where he kind of scuffed. Can you scuff it with your head? Whatever the word is for scuffing it with your head onto his hand, and of course it went in anyway, but it was disallowed because it hit his hand. He should have buried it, which would have made a big difference. The second half, Scotland came out really well. They were a lot more direct. They pressed high. They were a lot more dynamic. And I felt like, why are you not playing like this all the time? Because they scored after 20 seconds of the restart. They were the better team. And then maybe what's happened is, based on what we saw from Grant Hanley late on, is it just tired them out. And they just ran out of steam, because to get back to 2-2 was actually really creditable, and they deserved it. And then they let themselves down. Well, Grant Hanley let them down at the end, I suppose.
But they had the chances elsewhere. If you think between the Szymanski opener and Lewandowski scoring that penalty, which again was quite a daft penalty to concede right at the end of the first half, they were the better team between those 2 points as well. So there's no reason they couldn't have won this. Poland have some good players, but it's not an outstanding Poland team by any stretch of the imagination. And I'm forever complaining about how we perceive football from the result rather than what actually happened. In this case, the result was so important, because you talked about Scotland and how it's not been plain sailing in 2024. And despite the fact they've qualified for a second successive Euro, which really should be some sort of cause for celebration, the manner in which they went out of that Euro has put a bit of a cloud over them, has put a bit of a cloud over Steve Clarke. A lot of Scotland fans discussing whether he should actually stay. Yeah. They really needed a result out of this.
I agree with you.
And even if they'd have drawn, I think, because of the manner in which they came back, as you pointed out, Luke, it would have been a completely different feeling. But you could hear a lot of boos as they came off the pitch, which I felt, in terms of the performance, was really unfair.
Well, there was boos at half-time because they were 2-0 down, of course.
Exactly. And they needed the result more than they needed the performance here by quite a long way.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, because I think it's not... The international football scene for Scotland isn't as happy and jolly as people might think. They look at the fans in Germany and all that kind of stuff. But I think the fact... To be honest, there are parallels with regards to that between Scotland and England, obviously at different levels. England... with Clarke and Southgate even, Now, look, this is not my comment on Clarke particularly. I would like Clarke to be a little bit more positive with his playing, and maybe credit for bringing on Ryan Gould and Shankland as well. He made some positive substitutions.
Some big moves in the second half,
which was good. But Clarke is he's criticised for being conservative. As was Southgate, of course, but Clark getting Scotland to 2 major tournaments was a thing. Southgate getting England to 2 finals was a big thing. But I think it's kind of like, okay, for England, it's like, well, we'll go and bloody win one now. And for Scotland, it's like, get past that first round.
Yeah.
And I obviously Clark's still in the job, Southgate's gone. So I wonder with Scotland if there's going to be a lot of pressure on Steve Clark. I'd have thought his job was safe, by the way. That's, I think it would be a bit knee-jerky maybe to get rid of him. But if for whatever reason Clark was to go, and I don't think he will, I don't think there would be a sizable amount of Scottish fans that wouldn't be sad to see the back of it.
Yeah,
but this is all very premature chat, and there's nothing like that. So going back to
I think it's a reasonable chat in the
because underpinning what Andy said is, of course, that it's far easier to qualify for a Euros now, right? So you got to ascertain how much of Scotland qualifying for these tournaments has been because they've been genuinely improved, or how much of it is because the net has been cast a lot more wide. Because we've seen a lot of, obviously, it's 50% bigger as a tournament than it used to be, so it's obviously going to be easier to qualify for anyway.
Your point is right, but they have improved, though. I wanted to make that point.
That's what I'm saying, which is why I literally just said we have to ascertain how much of that has come down to because they've improved and how much of it is because it's easier to qualify now.
Yeah. Wasn't it delightful to see the Scottish Messi, Ryan Gold, get out there?
Yes, it was.
Oh, that was fun.
Is he still called the Scottish Messi?
Yeah, probably not anymore.
28 and not getting in the starting 11. Is that so it reminds you of Messi?
He's in MLS.
yeah.
Is my point.
Okay, right.
Well, it was good to see the 2 Napoli boys scoring, though.
That's great.
Yeah,
Come on.
That's great. It's fantastic.
It is.
Yeah.
So that was
some great chat from Nicky Bandini on this week's OTC about how they might fit in to Antonio Conte's lineup.
I forgot he was.
What I love about Gilmore's was that he got, to say it again, he got his scraps.
Got his
stuck in there early. And straight after half time, when teams are still easing their way back into the game, it's a great time to get your scraps.
It is.
Because not everyone's on it.
It's all about the scraps. It's almost like when you score like right after half time, it's almost like a freebie. It's like, right, great. And we can reset.
How'd that happen?
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
But it wasn't enough and they lost.
They did. And it's going to get tougher for them from here on in, as you guys have already said.
Yes, indeed. They play Portugal at Benfica Stadium, the Stade de Luz, Stadium of Light.
Yeah.
On Sunday night. Appropriately. Cristiano Ronaldo will be waiting though, Andy, because he is a starter now, and it's fair to say, obviously, scoring that 900th career goal in their win against Croatia.
He's very much the Portuguese Cristiano Ronaldo, I think.
I look at that, but it's the same like it was in the Euros. I look at that starting lineup and I'm like, they've got such a wealth of talent at the moment, Portugal, and I know Ronaldo scored, but surely the chat has not moved from the Euros. Like, should he be starting, etc., etc.
No, obviously that's sort of suspended for the evening because he got that 900th career goal.
Is that annoying? Do people sort of think, oh, that's annoying he scored? Because of those who want him out of the team, like Bruno Fernandes, for
I'd
example.
love Diogo Jota to retire from international football before Cristiano Ronaldo does. That'd be amazing.
It would be. Well, I don't know, Andy. Like to see Luka Modric captaining Croatia, because he will do that.
Yeah.
I thought we all thought he was going to quit, didn't we, after the Euros?
No.
Andy didn't.
I'm dying to know who's going to quit international football first.
They should do a WWE type retirement match. They should in this game. Like, whoever loses, they have to retire from international football.
Do you not think the odds might be stacked quite heavily in favour of one of those 2 players? Yeah,
but I mean, you never know. You never know your luck. Got to get Cristiano out of it somehow.
Yeah, you do.
Got to start thinking of more creative ways of doing it. I've already told you should chuck him into Mount Doom with no feet, but no one's listening.
Yes, indeed. Well, coming up after the break, we've got Craig Bellamy saying that he's all about love. The Pitbull Stadium opens this weekend.
Wow!
And Phil Neville's goalkeeper headbutts his own player.
Wow!
See you in a moment. Wow. Right.
De Bruyne has the short option. He does have a splendid set of cards, I've got to admit, though. Jack Grealish down below in front of us.
Welcome back to the Football Ramble, everybody. Now then, Saturday, 5 p.m.
A tea time treat.
Tea time treat.
Now the weather's starting to turn.
That's right. It's Ireland versus England. Lee Carsley's first game in charge. Going back to his old stomping ground. Although he wouldn't have played at that stadium, though, would he?
A derby for him, though.
Yes.
It's a derby for him.
Yes. In a city that presumably he knows quite well. Is he going to respect Ireland? You think he is, Luke, and he's going to play for the draw?
No. Well, so you don't. So obviously we have our separate individual selections for the live score bet selection. But and I know you think I'm going to win, and obviously I've gone for a draw.
I always think that.
But the reason for it is actually less to do with Carsley and more to do with Hal Grimson, I would say.
Yeah, old Jaime.
Because Ireland have got a new manager as well. Can't forget that. And he's had a team in the shape of Iceland when he was joint coach with Lagerbäck in the Euros. And then after that, obviously, because then they went and qualified for the World Cup. What he was able to do was get a team who obviously didn't have the resources, didn't have incredible amounts of great players to punch above their weight. Now, clear, I'm not trying to be disrespectful to Ireland here, but there's only one letter difference. That's what I'm saying. And what I'm saying is they've clearly hired him for a reason. Haven't they? They've hired him because they thought, right, we are a team of a certain level on the world stage. We need to hire a manager that's kind of roughly commensurate with us being able to punch above their weight. And we talk about this over and over again whenever we talk about international football on this show. What you need to do if you are not one of the really top nations who've got a chance of winning tournaments is you need to get as far as you can. Well, how do you get as far as you can? By playing to your strengths and making it difficult for the other team. I wouldn't be surprised at all if Ireland make it really difficult for England tomorrow night, providing the players buy into what Hal Grimson wants to do. And it's for that reason I'm thinking, don't be hugely surprised if England's under Carsley's first game isn't a massive, as I said, bombastic success.
And you've got to regroup after relegation as well. That's another thing, isn't it?
And a Euros final loss as well. When you talk about Hal Grimson and all that Iceland stuff, I think, I'm not sure England are going to win. Well, I mean, he is quite the man, isn't he? As you said, he was manager alongside Lars Lagerbäck when they beat England in Euro 2016.
And then they gave him a job full time, and he did well again. They got beaten quite badly in the World Cup itself, but just getting there is incredible.
Well, a draw with Argentina was, sort of a memorable one.
But that's amazing. They got, isn't it?
Amazing.
Yeah, but that's a marquee result, right?
Absolutely right.
Well, I think if you look at what Iceland have done or not done since, it shows you what an incredible job he did.
Well, they won at Wembley just before the Euros, Andy.
They did. You've embarrassed yourself there, Andy.
Yeah.
Yeah. He doesn't lie about Iceland, does he?
As if you weren't embarrassed enough on that night. You had to go and pile in on that as well. Hal Grimson, famously a dentist, of course, said...
By trade?
Yes, that's right. This week that his dentistry has helped him. He said, some people are really afraid of the dentist. So you have to find the right way to talk to each client. You might have to relax one, be funny to the next one, be serious to the third. But you have to be quick to adapt. It's the same with football.
When it said dentistry's helped him with becoming a football manager, I genuinely thought he was going to say, yeah, so I'm a dentist, so I don't need the money. I'm just doing it because I love it.
Yeah, getting a tune out of them was like pulling teeth, for crying out loud.
He's taking a pay cut to come to football.
So, but I mean, look, as you say, Ireland are in a new phase now with him because it didn't really work with Kenny. And because they tried that thing that the FA stumbled upon with Southgate, which the Spanish have done so successfully, Luis de la Fuente, they're hiring one of their own, but someone who was kind of more in tune, you would say, certainly with the culture, but the footballing culture, not parachuting.
But there's got to be something right with the organisation in the first place for that to work.
And so they've turned again to a foreign manager, as we see. But with Kenny, you could see what he was trying to do. It just did not happen, though.
Yeah, and of course, the interesting thing is, like, for the probably first 6 months of this year, a lot of football fans in Ireland saying, we should have a punt for Lee Carsley. So that's what makes it so interesting that Carsley is taking his first England game in Dublin against the Republic of Ireland.
Now the tables have turned, Andy. They want Rice, Grealish, Carsley. Sorry, chaps, but
you don't sound sorry. That's the problem.
Yeah, I don't think I am. But Lee Carsley, though, actually, when you start reading about his coaching career and so on, you think, oh, actually, this makes more and more sense as you go. Obviously,
totally.
Just to pluck one at Manchester City, Guardiola highly regarded him. Now people will say, but he was coaching at sort of age cap level and so on. But these things are indicative. And also, I think was it Kevin Kilbane when talking about Lee Carsley, he said that sometimes if you take that step into full blown management and you're at a championship club or Premier League club, whatever, the coaching side of it can actually kind of go, and suddenly you're a manager, and there's a lot of other stuff. And he said Carsley is a coach,
exactly,
out and out, and
that's why the England job is like really perfect.
Exactly,
that's a far more indicative point of the way that international football is going. You've basically got two different parallel approaches depending on the size of the nation.
Yeah.
You've got, as I've already said, a Hal Grimson at Ireland who needs to get a team who aren't quite as fancy, don't quite as have the resources or the players to punch above their weight. And as you said earlier, in the context of Scotland, what's an achievement for them? The achievement's different. Something that they would be impressed by is different to what England would be impressed by. It's the same with Ireland. The other approach is, as you've already said, with De La Fuente, with Southgate. These are the two coaches that contested the European Championships final. They're both of a type. What about Lionel Scaloni?
Yeah,
won the World
blimey.
Cup. Never managed anyone.
Yeah, it's incredible.
But he won the World Cup because what they're being now.
He loves in a slightly different way, but still.
But he came through the ranks and became.
Yeah.
So because the reason for that, I think, is at the very top nations, what does the job entail? It entails, as you've already said, coaching, but it also entails almost being a custodian.
That's right.
Because you don't get the time with the players. The players are far more prioritising their club football these days, even just philosophically. I'm not saying they're not turning up for squads and they're not wanting to play at tournaments, but really the clubs have hold all the cards, have all the chips. So you have to become almost like a custodian. I don't know if there's a place now for a really big personality-driven super coach to be doing international stuff, because I just don't think it works. I think it butts heads.
Steve McLaren, Jamaica, come on.
Lovely stuff. That is lovely stuff. That's the best of both worlds.
We may well give that a bit more of a mention in the mailbag tomorrow, by the way.
I look forward to that.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what that's going to be for, but I look forward to it anyway. But do you understand what I mean?
No, I do totally get
There's
what
two
you're
different
saying,
tracks here, and I think England are clearly trying to repeat what they did with Southgate, but go that one step extra. And obviously they want them to, lots of fans want England to play better football as well, because they see the players they've got and say, we should be doing better than that. But ultimately, that's what he's there to do.
Yeah.
There's no way in the world, 5-10 years ago, someone like Lee Carsley gets the England job. No way. 10 years ago, no chance.
I guess that's another plus with the Nations League. It gives England an opportunity to kind of ease him into the job and say maybe this is a bit of you in the medium to long term.
No, because according to Marcus, this is the big one. I don't know what you're talking about.
No, I never said it. No, I never said it was the big one.
League B. The League B one.
Andy.
It's like Didier Deschamps being put in charge of Juventus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He won the league with Marseille before he went to. Was it with Marseille?
No.
Before the France job, I mean.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, he did.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I just assumed it got revoked.
At Juventus or Marseille. Could be either.
Gigi Buffon's going, nonsense. Yeah. It's a medal.
We're picking up a pattern here.
No pattern.
You've still got your World Cup, don't worry.
Yeah.
Nobody can take that away from you. Yeah. With regards to Ireland versus England, Callum Robinson has warned that Jack Grealish will get boos from the crowd in Dublin.
That won't affect him because he simply won't understand them.
How are we spelling booze here?
Very good, Andy. Maybe that's what old Callum meant.
Yeah.
They will literally be handing him the booze.
Yeah.
And that would genuinely be more effective, I would say. And obviously Declan Rice could come in for a bit of treatment, but I think they'll be okay.
Yeah, I was surprised to hear that he made 3 friendly appearances for Ireland before making the switch to England, because Irish people don't ever mention it.
They don't.
They don't tend to talk about it. So it was a surprise to me to hear that.
Yeah, I have to remind them.
Yeah.
And say, do you remember that? And they go, no, we moved on from that.
How kind of you to do so.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Before we get in trouble, let's talk about tonight's match, Wales versus Turkey. I feel that this fixture comes around quite a lot.
Yeah.
Wales versus Turkey.
It feels like a classic.
Wales, Turkey, Wales, Croatia.
Wales, Belgium.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wales, Belgium, definitely.
Yeah, Craig Bellamy's first game in charge.
Another one. See, not done anything in management before.
Is at the Cardiff City Stadium. Come on, he was Vincent Kompany's attack dog for
2 years at Anderlecht under 21s. That's disrespectful by me.
No, but we think of him as an attack dog because we think of his personality as a player. Whereas I think we've seen from the early press conferences that Craig Bellamy's given, because of course he's been very much in the shadows when he's been with Kompany at Anderlecht and when he's been with him at Burnley, that Bellamy's actually a really thoughtful coach, and we're getting a little bit of that now. I'm really interested to see how it's going to pan out.
You can definitely have a different sort of personality as a player and a manager.
Yes.
Like Roy Keane, for example.
Or as a person and a manager.
But
as a person as a manager as well.
Yeah, of course.
Is it fair to say, would you agree with this though, Andy?
Although I'd say more often than not,
they're linked.
Yeah.
Andy, Bobby Robson described Craig Bellamy as an unusual and volatile character.
Yeah, he didn't say player, character.
Would you like to disrespect the late great Bobby Robson by disagreeing with that?
Firstly, it's Sir Bobby.
Sir Bobby, sorry.
Oh,
yeah.
hey.
Secondly, if we're going to talk about Bellamy,
It's not Sir Craig.
Yet. If we're going to talk about Bellamy in Newcastle, we've got to talk about the time that Newcastle were going to a European away match, and Bellamy and John Carver, who was the assistant manager at the time, had a fight over the last parking space in the car park. I actually think that reflects worse on John Carver.
Who won?
Actually,
Did Craig got the golf clubs up the boot.
That's a tricky fight, isn't it? Because Bellamy's got Joe Pesci.
But Carver's old man heart.
Yeah, exactly. You'd have to. Yeah, I love the fact he's assistant manager. But no, I
told you I once saw John Carver cycling a mountain bike down the towpath in Fulham on the Thames, and he had a plastic bag full of stuff on each handlebar.
Yeah,
I don't know what's happening there. He had shorts on, obviously.
Oh yeah, obviously.
Yeah, he's always got shorts on. Generation of man who's always in shorts. It's definitely him.
Right.
Always in shorts. Ray Lewington, another one. Always in shorts.
Come on.
Yes.
And every dad over the age of 50 that has been in the Navy. always wearing shorts.
I'll defer to the
Trust me, I grew up around there. That's always the case.
Strong assistant manager vibes.
Definitely.
Always in shorts.
But we should say, joking aside, Craig Bellamy's life and professional life has been full of incidents.
Yeah.
Right. But he's now 45.
But a fine playing career.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's now 45 and he's put his yards in to get into coaching, and now he's been given this opportunity, which for him as a Welshman is obviously massive.
And a passionate one as well.
Yeah,
Always passionate about the Wales national team.
And so we have to give him the chance and the room to see how he gets on. This is the first challenge.
I think he'll do really well.
I have a feeling as well that he might do okay, and I think he's building on the work, obviously, of his predecessors, and we know Wales have by and large done pretty well, really, since obviously Chris Coleman and that Euros and so on. Obviously, that was the high point. But Bellamy himself this week I think he's trying to allay fears about that Sir Bobby Robson quote and other opinions of that. He said,
do you think?
Well, he said this week, "I'm not a dictator.
Yeah,
I have certain beliefs." Pause. Especially when players are without the ball, I'm non-negotiable. But with the ball, I am quite caring and all about love. If you give the ball away and you hear me in the background yelling, then it's not going to help or improve the player.
Yeah.
So we are seeing a different side to Craig here.
Yeah, but I think, like I said, I think we've seen that for a long time. I think he's really interesting, really thoughtful sort of coach. And when we were talking about Steve Clarke before and how a lot of Scotland fans must be feeling frustration, I think from the outside, it's easy to look at Wales getting to major tournaments and obviously getting really close to getting in the Euros. They're just a penalty shootout away from going to the Euros as well.
Yeah.
But a lot
against Poland, wasn't it?
Yes.
That's right. Yeah.
A lot of Wales fans who I speak to are like, yeah, we're done with Page.
Yeah.
We appreciate the job. And of course, he stepped in a difficult.
It was kind of the accidental manager, wasn't it?
Yeah, because of the whole Ryan Giggs thing. And so I think you can say overall, Rob Page did a decent job. But a lot of Wales fans are thinking, right, we need to try something a bit different. And what you were saying before with Hal Goodimson, that idea of like thinking outside the box a little bit. Now, Bellamy might seem an obvious choice in the sense that he's Welsh and he's of high profile and all that sort of stuff. But if he wanted an easy life, he could have stuck with Vincent Kompany. He could be at Bayern by now.
Was he offered the chance to go to Bayern?
I think so.
Okay, that's interesting because I did wonder why he didn't go.
I think so.
Maybe because he thought this job was coming up.
Yeah, I mean, look, he's had his eyes on this for a really long time.
Without being hugely disrespectful to Craig Bellamy, and this is going to sound disrespectful, so forgive me. It's like Bayern Munich. They were scraping the barrel a bit with Kompany, weren't they? It's like their eighth choice. It's like they were going, that was the final straw. You're not bringing him.
Yeah, that's right.
No, you're not bringing him.
Yeah, we are going to have to get you an assistant.
I think it's more him going to Craig Bellamy. How do you fancy the best 3 months of your life?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's not a long-term thing. But I would say, just to pick up quickly on the Craig Bellamy quote there, it's easy to kind of have a little bit of chuckle about that and the way he's worded it. But I do think there's a definite element to coaching at particularly international level, just building on what I said earlier about Hal Grimson, keeping it really tight, getting to a position where you can punch above your weight, making it difficult for the opposition because a lot of the games you play competitively against teams that are better than you. In the final third, you have to engender a situation where these attacking players aren't frightened to try something in the final third, right?
But Wales can aspire to more than this, I think. I mean, they've got better players than the Republic of Ireland. They've got better players than Scotland.
I agree with
you. Maybe you could talk about the top three from Scotland or so, maybe a bit different. But I think overall they have a stronger squad. And always at Cardiff City Stadium, the atmosphere is incredible. Now, I think they'll be front foot in this game. I think they should be front foot in this game because if you look at Turkey and where they are at the moment, of course, they were good in the Euros, but defensively, they're never super solid and they've got a lot of out-of-form defenders and a few new ones that they've just brought in as well. So I think they're there to be got at.
I think you look at the
Yeah, to be
profile of both the
content.
teams. You look at the team that Wales will probably play. You know, in the front six, then they'll play will include Brennan Johnson, Harry Wilson, Ethan Ampadu, Aaron Ramsey, and Dan James. You know,
Yeah.
so you know these are players who are recognisable players who've played at the top level.
Yeah.
I've obviously, admittedly, I've left Kiefer Moore out of that, but he used to play for Sheffield United and he scored this season. So you know these are players who can hurt other teams.
Bournemouth as well.
At home. They should certainly better hurt Turkey for sure.
I think that's a bit disrespectful to old Kiefer.
No, I'm not being disrespectful to him. I'm just saying he doesn't leap out as a household name among those other players. That's all I'm saying.
He's a beautiful man.
He is a very beautiful man.
Right.
Magnificent specimen as well, by the way.
Yeah.
Big, tall lad.
And I know you prioritise looks. So
Lovely
you should-
sculpted beard.
Yeah.
How much longer do you want me to go on for? Is what the listeners are saying.
Yeah. So Wales, Turkey's a big one tonight. There's another big one tonight. France versus Italy. Classic Nations League A stuff.
It's great stuff.
And Michael Elise is going to be running the show as well.
Is he really?
Very exciting.
After presumably a successful Olympics audition, really.
Yeah, to the detriment of Antoine Griezmann, probably.
I don't know how to feel about that.
I'm not sure as well.
Yeah.
France is very taken with Elise already.
Well, they should be.
Big performance tonight. And
Yes. I have to turn our attention to the state of Florida in the United States.
Never a bad time to do that.
It's very humid, though.
It's very humid here today.
It is a bit, yeah, but it's also quite chilly.
Awfully
So it
damp.
balances
though.
it
Very
out.
damp, though, isn't it?
Well, Florida, I'm sure, are familiar with rainfall and humidity, and they're very familiar with pitbull.
Over familiar, some would say.
Well, yeah. So Florida International University play their first game at the newly named Pitbull Stadium on Saturday
Get off.
this weekend. Andy, don't you dare try and stop that party. All fans at that stadium will be receiving a pin badge of old Pitbull standing in front of the stadium. It's a beauty.
It is a beauty.
If anybody is in the area,
Sponsored by Kia.
yeah,
So, there you go.
he loves it.
Yeah. He's got Kia to make them, hasn't he?
Yeah,
He's
yes.
got to pay them. He's got to pay for it himself then.
If anybody is in the area and is going along, I've no doubt. Will it be a sellout? Do you think?
Don't know. We'd love to know though.
I'd love to get a pin badge.
I think if you're listening to this show right now,
Yeah.
and you're in that area, you need to be getting yourself down there.
if you're not, then that's piss poor.
They're very poor.
But get yourself a pin badge, and can you get one of those pin badges for me?
Yeah, definitely.
Send it over.
It's I mean the pin badge itself is a big Pitbull Stadium at the top. Of course, he paid $6 million to call it the Pitbull Stadium for 5 years.
Chump change for
The
him.
best money he's ever spent. Exactly. But it's Florida International University against Central Michigan.
Yeah.
The big one on the 7th of September. So, I said to you, brought to you by an association with Kia, you know, who've done nothing to deserve a mention on this show. But I thought I'd try to give you the full flavour of what he's going for.
That's right. That's right.
Hopefully, it'll be an eventful game for all the right reasons.
Come on, half-time show.
Surely he's performing at the inaugural game.
Yeah, but it's not that big a stadium, is it?
oh, what are you thinking? Just an acoustic set?
Yeah, DJ set.
Oh, yeah.
DJ set. Just do Pitbull performing live, brackets DJ set.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, right.
I think that's fair.
Yeah, I think he can do a 10 minutes, can't he?
What an event that is. I'll be honest with you, I had a little look at flights. But what an event that'll be. So good luck to Florida, everybody.
Yeah.
And
The
Mr.
whole of Florida,
and
who
Mr.
would no doubt be on tenterhooks at this news. You know, nothing else going on there. So.
Well, let's hope Florida International University, or FIU as I like to call them,
Yeah.
let's hope they can get a victory.
Yeah, I love to see Cristiano Ronaldo
Yeah.
out of respect when he next scores. Instead of doing Sue, doing Few.
Yeah, that would be good.
That would be good. Respect out of Pitbull, you know.
In whatever sport they play.
Because Cristiano,
I think it's American football, isn't it?
Cristiano will never be Mr. Worldwide.
He'd like to think he was.
He's not, though.
Yeah.
Pitbull's Mr. Worldwide.
Mr. 305 as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Staying in the United States, Portland Timbers are flying high. They're up to 6th place in the Western Conference. To be fair to Fizzer, the results have improved, and it's down to him.
Why would we not be fair to Fizzer?
They
We
beat.
have to be fair to him at all time.
They beat Seattle.
Show some fucking respect.
They beat Seattle Sounders 1-0 last Sunday in the big one. During the game, this was quite interesting. Portland striker Troy had to be subbed off after the goalkeeper Maxim Kropeu headbutted him in celebration when he blocked a goal-bound shot.
Yeah, I saw this.
Now, I appreciate that I may have pronounced those names slightly differently to the way Americans would, but that's how we would do it. But yeah, he was.
I would call it because he must be called Trois, no? Because that's a similar spelling to the French team Trois, right?
Yeah, but
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, but
he's not French.
They're not calling him Trois. In
and Maxime Crepeau, because he's French-Canadian, I think. It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
I don't think it's the main point of the story, is it?
Well, that's true. Well, anyway, there was a headbutt in celebration, and it resulted in his own player being subbed.
Yeah, I saw it, and I saw the. So you know when they get really like pumped when something good happens, and the players will celebrate together, and sometimes they put their heads together.
Yeah, too much.
The keeper went too far.
Yeah.
It left his defender, whoever it was, with a striker, with a bloody nose. And then in the video I saw, they were in the changing room laughing about it afterwards.
They were. Well, you've got to laugh, haven't you?
They won the game, I suppose. That's probably
they
why.
won.
Still kept a clean sheet.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Although it would have been more impressive if he'd have kept the clean sheet and he's the one who had been headbutted rather than the one who did the headbutting.
It's two things I'd say. That one, the striker didn't have a clean shirt. Don't worry about a clean sheet because it was covered in blood. The second one is no one's trying to score against him. He's mad. What's he capable of?
Well, and I think as well, though, it shows you the brilliant management skills of Fizzer because
Let him get on with it.
Well, that could have been.
Very hands off.
That could have boiled over, couldn't it?
They're headbutting.
And now look, they're
It's fine.
laughing as well. I mean, think about the amount of headbutts that we know and don't know about in football, and there's always a bit of scuffle and this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
With Fizzer, it's
all out
harmonious.
there. It's all out there.
Harmonious.
Everyone's happy in the end.
Absolutely.
Because they literally don't know who he is.
Come on.
Shout out to
they do now.
Shout out to our listener Callum for sending us the video, by the way.
Appreciate that,
I
Callum.
bloody enjoyed it.
Nice one. All right, everybody, it's time for this.
Dean Smith also says you're an encyclopedia of football.
A what?
An encyclopedia of football.
I don't know what that means.
We do, everybody. It's Jack's Encyclopedia. And last week, Jim won a thrilling encounter when he beat me and Andy in a tie-break. Now, because of my bad form at the start of the season, I've been given the job of hosting.
You
Jack's
must be
Encyclopedia.
fuming about your start.
Well,
you lost to me the week before that.
But you are the champ, I'm told.
I'm not the lineal champ. That's Vish.
Oh yes.
But I won last season. I'm 2023-24 champ.
Is that right?
Yeah.
My goodness.
That's what it says on my CV anyway.
Yeah, on your mantelpiece.
This is
on
like
the garden
Arsenal.
sign.
It's like Arsenal in the Emirates Cup.
Yeah, I know it is, yeah. I'm like Spurs winning the Aldi Cup, that's me.
It was a good win, but not as good as Fulham winning the Algarve Trophy. So,
That's the big one.
this is a big one, everybody. Luke Moore is now a heavyweight. He moved up
I
the
should
belts.
be, I think we all agree with that. I should be number one ranked, really.
Should be.
I think so.
Should
I think
be.
We need to speak to Jimmy to the B, see what the ranking points are saying, but yeah.
And of course, Andy Brassel needs no introduction.
No. Although he's actually quite overrated as a player, though.
Not as a man.
I don't think I am overrated. I think everyone knows I'm quite crap at this game.
Right, okay,
No,
fine. But I
sod
think
off,
people
Andy.
expect you to be better because your depth of knowledge.
But Andy, as always, you take influence and inspiration from Luke. And Luke used to be quite
Yes.
poor at this game, and now look at him.
yeah.
Look at
Right.
him. Okay.
Noted.
Don't copy anything I do, Andy.
Okay. Oh, you'll end up in dock.
Andy's a good guy. On the show.
Okay,
I'm
simple
the
game.
bad guy.
Simple game of categories. As you know, if you go too slow, we'll play Gary Neville spunking, which will leave you 7 seconds. So let's start with this category, and I would like Andy, the challenger, to go first.
Of course you would.
So the category is: what are the 20 most expensive signings of the 2024 summer transfer window? So we're looking for the 20 most.
Into the Premier League?
The 20 most expensive signings based on the transfer fee paid between buying and selling clubs, as listed on Transfermarkt in all leagues.
Okay, right.
All leagues.
In the summer.
In the summer, this summer of 2024.
May I start with the great Michael Elise?
Michael Elise.
How much did he go for? I'd love to know. Doesn't matter. It's not on there, probably, is it?
Yeah, sod off. Luke?
I've got a few selections here.
Okay, give us one.
I'm trying to go for one that I don't think Andy would. I think Andy would try and get. I'll go for Amadou Onana.
Very well played. And well done for getting his name right.
Yeah, my name's not even Andre. You get me?
Yeah, no, I fell foul of that last week. Andy!
Julian Alvarez.
Julian Alvarez, of course he's in there.
Forgot about him. Manuel Ugarte.
Well done, sir. Well done. Good start, chaps.
Matthias de Ligt.
Good one, Andy. Well done. Lenny Yoro.
Well done. Well done.
Ooh, good.
It's a lovely start to the game.
I'm quite pleased I can relax now. I'm not embarrassed myself.
João Neves.
Good pronunciation too there.
Obrigado.
Disagree with
Give
that.
him an extra point for that.
Oh, he's my favourite.
Come on.
Dominic Solanke's got to be in there.
He is in there.
William Pacho.
William Pacho. Oh, Andy.
It costs more than... It definitely costs more than De Ligt.
Andy, I can't stress it up. This is according to Transfermarkt. Now, I know that sometimes there can be little funny fees knocking around,
exactly.
but we went with Transfermarkt, a very well-respected website.
And they're German. You must love them.
It's much,
Andy, do you respect Transfermarkt?
It's much easier in future if we just say undisclosed for everything.
Yeah, I wish I could pick any player then.
Right, Luke Moore.
Yeah, there could be a big uproar about that, Andy. If I get one now and get the point, which I'm almost certainly not going to do. I can't think of one.
Too much chat there.
Ivan Toney.
Yeah. Andy's back in. Too much gloating there, Luke, I feel.
That's just trying to steal for time, mate, to be honest.
Didn't work. Andy, you're back in. If you have a quick look on Transfermarkt, you'll find the ones.
It's Torres to give Chelsea a place in the Champions League final. The headline has been written.
Joao Palhinha.
Beautifully done. Beautifully done, sir.
Why didn't I have that? Okay.
Luke Aaron Moore to stay in the game.
Danny Olmo.
Danny Olmo.
He moved, didn't he?
It's correct. He's back in it.
He moved.
Well played. But this is a great round, lads. I'll take my hats off to you because I'm wearing more than one. Andy.
Joao Felix.
Of course he is. Of course
I got
he is.
nothing.
Come on, you have something.
Give him the point. I've got nothing.
Don't be like that. This is worse than a loser, a quitter.
There's got to be another Joao in there, surely.
Yeah. What about Pedro Neto?
Pedro Neto is correct. See? Bit of belief.
We're still fighting for this title, Andy Brassel. We're still fighting for it.
This, by the way, you've done incredibly well. Incredibly
So
well.
how many have we got left?
You've got 8 left.
Like, how can that be the case? I feel like we've done all of them.
Yeah, Andy.
It's Torres to give Chelsea.
Oh, I think I've got another one in my locker. I think I've thought of another one.
The headline has been written.
It's Luke Moore's
Victor Osimhen.
Nope.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
loan deal, bro.
Oh, of course it was. All right, so no points.
We have to end it there. You could have had Desiree Doué, Douglas Luiz, Endrick,
Oh, of course.
Right.
Jorginho Ruta, Max Kilman, Moussa Diaby, Riccardo Calafiori.
Oh, yeah, Calafiori to Arsenal. Shit.
Yeah, and Teun Coop Miners.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
course.
but look, lads,
I think that's a point drop by you, Andy, given all those players there, European players.
Yeah.
I think that was a very, very good round, and I think the listeners will be applauding.
No one gets a point.
But it's no points.
Stephen Hawkins' football boots don't get a point.
Come on. Now, gentlemen, round 2, Luke Moore to shoot first. I want the starting 11s for both sides when Manchester United lost at Anfield 7-0 to Liverpool in March 2023. Luke Moore.
Wow.
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 Mo Salah.
Mo Salah, running down the wing. Andy.
Anana, and his name is Andre.
Is that right?
Oh.
Andre Anana didn't play in the 7-0.
Didn't play.
He didn't play, Andy. Well,
What an opportunity for me this is.
I can't. Andy Brassel.
Huh.
What an opportunity.
Andy Brassel. I'm surprised you went for him.
I mean, I guess I'll just go. Is it start or play?
Just starting.
Started the game.
Yeah. Surely.
Oh.
Come on.
Trent Alexander-Arnold. Yeah, it's a point for Lukey Moore.
Yeah.
Lovely.
David De Gea was in goal.
For the 7-0.
Yeah. I mean, there's like Alisson, Andrew Robertson, Anthony Bruno Fernandes,
Can I just say, I don't like how much pressure you put me under there. We're just looking at me going, come on. It's easy. It's easy when they're all in front of you, mate.
Yeah.
It was the season before last, wasn't it?
Hackpo. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm
it was
just
the season before last.
Fabinho, Harvey Elliott, Jordan Henderson.
I mean, by the way,
Very
you're out of your mind going for a Man United player.
Yeah.
In the most absolute chaotic team ever could be anyone.
I'm not
Go
even
for Liverpool, they're a solid 11.
Darwin Núñez, Dalot, Luke Shaw, Rashford, Varane, Van Dijk.
Yeah.
Wout Weghorst, Andy.
Yeah.
Could have gone for.
How could you forget about Vigo?
I never would have.
Yeah, you Man United fans are trying to forget him.
Indeed. Okay, this is a lovely one.
Okay.
Luke Moore could take the tie, but Andy has a chance to take it to a tiebreaker. This is a lovely, something we can all get behind, especially this week.
Oh, good.
As he's back in business. Every team that Steve Bruce has managed. There's 12 of the buggers.
12 of them.
Yes. Andy to start.
Aston Villa.
Newcastle.
Sunderland.
Nice. Everyone forgets. Actually, I'm not going to say that one because I think it might be good later on. West Brom.
Well done.
Birmingham City.
Oh, well, he's currently manager of Blackpool. So.
He is.
Sheffield Wednesday.
Oh, I forgot that.
Yeah, I did as well.
Well, he's also been manager of Sheffield United, hasn't he?
That's correct. Yeah. This is good. 4 more.
4 more.
Struggling now.
Did I go first? No, Andy did, didn't he?
Hull City.
Oh, good
It's
one.
a big one. It's a big one. FA Cup final.
Yeah. Wigan Athletic.
2 more.
Oh.
Andy,
come on,
I
want this so bad.
You need a win,
I want to
Andy.
beat Andy so much. Come on. I don't mind saying it. You went first, so you got to get one.
I know this is wrong. I want to say Gillingham.
Luke could take it.
The one I was going to say earlier,
Come on.
I thought Andy would forget it, that I kept to the end, is Crystal Palace.
Oh,
Yeah! Very good. What was the other one? What was the other one?
Huddersfield Town.
Oh, of course it was. Yeah, of course it was.
Very good. Very good game.
That was great, Andy. Well played,
I
mate.
tell you what, that was a good
exciting.
bout. Andy, you totally buggered it up in the Man United Liverpool question. But look,
Yeah.
we've all been there.
Yeah. I would
We've all
just
been
say tactically that was poor because you always want to go for Liverpool players there because there's a load of solid players there.
You know, I don't mind losing. The chat afterwards is unbearable.
I just think I could tell, if you stick around after, we can talk a bit about what you could have done better. Andy.
Unfortunately, I've got a lunch appointment.
Like Eric Pickles. Eric Pickles over there.
Oh, Pickles. But good
Lord
win.
Pickles, sorry, should have said Lord Pickles.
Is he really?
Yeah.
They just hand them out these
They
days,
do,
not they?
like sweets.
Oh,
It's like
dear.
Jack's Encyclopedia wins. They have them out all over the place.
Hey, no, you got to earn them.
They have, yeah, big time.
None of that hereditary stuff going on there.
I just want to put a note out there. I'm not bothered about Brassel.
You are.
I want to put a note out there to Vish. Come on, face me.
Yeah.
Face me.
He calls himself Vicious Vish, doesn't he?
He does.
And yet he saps away.
He does.
I've got to go and report on the cricket.
Yeah, I know.
It's not, it's raining.
It's always raining.
Cheers for watching another fantastic clip from the Football Ramble podcast. Make sure you click like on this video and subscribe to the channel, which means you will not miss a single upload.